we're in the middle of the pandemic right now. We're spending way too much time at home.
Oh, yes.
So that has all of us nesting, per se. That includes me. And that's sparked the home renovation explosion. I know that right now I'm bugging my husband for a new couch, new countertops, a new backsplash, and so many other things. With that, though, excited to speak with our next guest, first time on the show. Kyle, is it Huntoon? Huntoon. He's a designer and craftsman for the Hunt Noyer Furniture Company. Great to have you with us.
Thanks. Yeah, it's great to hang out via Zoom.
Hey, I will say though, Kyle, I'm so bummed. I never got the chance to watch the show, the Ellen Show, on HGTV because I love HGTV and I love Ellen.
Well, it was a little while ago. It was in the beginning of 2016. I was on the second season of Ellen's Design Challenge, which is a furniture design competition show that HGTV held. I was competing against 11 other people for $100,000 in cash, classic reality TV show prize. I did not win, but I did get fourth place out of everyone. And I was really proud because I was the only person there that didn't go to art school. I actually went to University of Michigan for civil engineering before becoming a furniture maker. But it was definitely weird to see commercials of myself on HGTV on like Sunday nights, and just I mean, it's kind of like, it was like I was embarrassed in a way, even though I was excited. And then, every Monday night for about 2 months, I was on the show. So I was on 7 of 9 episodes of the show, and it was a really interesting experience. That is like sharing something totally unique with 11 other people that I can explain it, but it's like it would take me like days.
Well, I will say, even though you didn't win the final competition, you still won just by being picked as one of the individuals to be on the show. But I am kind of thinking about some of your old college friends. Were they like, dude, look at you on HGTV?
Yeah, it's funny because I don't have the cleanest mouth. And mostly what my friends noticed, they're like, wow, you're saying like darn it and heck a lot. But like, try to keep it clean. My mom asked me to keep it clean while I was there. And yeah, it was a big shift from, going to school for engineering. I spent 5 years as a civil engineer designing the power grid. And I just wasn't passionate about it. I always wanted to get my hands dirty, and I wanted to make tangible work, and I wanted to produce things that people could enjoy and like engage with people more, and yeah, it was different to have people see me in that light, but I think it was pretty cohesive, to who I was and where I was headed.
And look, you can never say no to, the opportunity just to get your name out there as well. Because what did that mean from an advertising standpoint about sharing your story and your work with the world?
It's helped me quite a bit. Initially, it didn't have the explosive effect that I was really hoping, but as far as like name recognition goes, helps really, really great, for Google searching and all of the whole stuff that goes into how businesses can get exposure these days through like SEO and other things that like are kind of hard to complicated subjects. But it's helped me with name recognition. It's helped me have other opportunities open up. Like for the past few years, I've been selling a few of my pieces through a partnership with West Elm. That's a national retailer. They have a store in Birmingham, Michigan here, and then they have about 90 other stores. And it opened up the doors to other things. And it's been like a slow burn, but it's been very helpful. Other than that, there were a few local situations where I was at like Eastern Market and someone was like, you were on that show. And it was like a 9-year-old and with their parents, and they're like, who is that? And she's like, he's on the design show. And I was like, okay, nice to meet you.
But what, But I love your work. West Elm, one of my favorite stores. I mean, they have such beautiful furniture, but you also have a very unique style. It's very slim. So how is business picking up right now because of the pandemic?
Yeah, so I've been very fortunate. A couple things happened where at the beginning of last year, unbeknownst to the situation, the pandemic situation, I was rebuilding a website. So I rebuilt my website, which easily accepts payments. We have, you can select furniture right on there. You can buy a piece that everything is everything is made to order by hand, but you can buy a piece just outright, or you can contact us for custom orders. The few pieces that I sell through West Elm, it's a partnership called West Elm Local, where they highlight people that hand make goods, whether that's a piece of furniture or like tea towels for your home or prints. There's like kind of a roster of West Elm Local makers throughout the country, which I'm fortunate to be one of. They only have a few furniture makers, and I kind of was an earlier one. So the few pieces I sell through them are a bench, which can be an entry bench or a coffee table. It's kind of a versatile piece of furniture. I also sell a console table that is also a desk. So my desk, which is a compact desk, is like perfect for work from home. And I've seen my sales of that item specifically just like skyrocket in the last year. We've sold about 80 desks last year, and the year before that, I think we sold maybe 25, 30 through that program. And we ship them all over the country. I mean, today I left my shop so I could have better internet service and talk to you at home. But we're shipping desks to New York, Vermont, New Mexico, Seattle, California, Florida. They go everywhere every time we make a batch of them. So it's been very good for business. I feel very fortunate, and it feels a little weird to be celebrating the positive aspects of the year for my business, but I can only take that and like move forward with it, and be one of the fortunate few people that has had that experience.
But no, for the rest of us, we need stories like yours because they're uplifting to all of us, and we should let people know. If they haven't been to your website, the furniture is beautiful. This isn't IKEA put together stuff at home. It's a piece of art. And when I see it, it's a piece of art, and it's to be shared and passed down generation to generation. How do you come up with your designs?
Well, you say passed down, and that's our intent. I actually became a furniture maker, not directly, but indirectly, because it's been in my family for 4 or 5 generations. My dad is not in woodworking at all, but my great-grandfather, they all were barn builders, furniture makers, cabinet makers. And I saw a lot of the furniture that they made in my grandparents' home growing up. And it was impressive to just be like, how did someone make that? How did someone make that thing? And then I want to figure it out. And I think that's where like my engineering brain made its way to furniture making. But as far as my designs go, I'm really like keyed into the history of furniture making, and what resonated with me is mid-century aesthetics. A lot of the designs came from partnerships that were formed in the Detroit area. So a lot of the famous furniture makers of that era, the Eames couple, Eero Saarinen, George Nelson, they met at Cranbrook. They all kind of like, it was like a melting pot of makers and designers. And a lot of American modernism history comes from the Detroit area, and I think that's really cool. And, having been someone who collected furniture for a while after I got out of college, I started getting into the aesthetic of it. Big time thrift shopper ever since I was in high school. So I was like finding cool pieces of furniture that I was like, these appeal to me. Then realizing like, oh, geez, like a lot of people collect these. And then it's like, oh, okay, well, I want to get into woodworking. Like, what's my aesthetic? And it was just kind of a natural transition to gravitate towards that. Now, one of the things that we do with Hunt Noyer, I say we because I have a couple people that work with me. We have a small team of people that work together on the furniture making, is to highlight joinery and traditional aspects of furniture making, bringing them into the modern era of furniture ownership, collection, curation of your home kind of thing. We choose to use exposed joinery. The joint that we use is called a box joint. A lot of people might look at it and say that's a dovetail joint. And honestly, that's fine with me if people like misidentify it as such, because the point is to show people how things are made and to show people that the furniture is made well. It's made out of solid wood, and it's built to last. And the design is minimal in the intention that we want to like show clean lines and, show something that's unique. The turned legs that we use, they're turned on a wood lathe. And that's just my own aesthetic. And I think of it as kind of quirky, but I also think that it makes it unique in the sense that we keep that repetition through our work, and you can see Hunt Noyer Furniture and identify it as Hunt Noyer Furniture, and you know that it's unique, well-made, handmade, and made of solid American, lumber, domestically sourced wood. We use walnut for mostly everything.
So with that, Kyle, where do you get your supplies? Because we also know during the pandemic, the supply chain has been broken in some arenas as well.
Yeah, at the beginning of last year, it was kind of difficult to make sure that we were getting the materials that we needed in all aspects of the job. It doesn't just take the lumber, but it also is like wood finish, sandpaper, shipping boxes, like all sorts of stuff. So keeping everything lubed in the machine of the furniture business working was difficult at the beginning, but we source all of our lumber from a couple different sawmills. We use Johnson's Lumber in Charlotte, Michigan, which is near Lansing. They've been in the furniture business for, I think, 130 years, like servicing the state of Michigan and a lot of the furniture production that has existed in our state for that long and longer. And then locally, we use General Hardwoods, which is on the east side of Detroit, over, I believe, on McNichols near Mound. And they've been around, again, for a very long time. It's a family-owned business. Both businesses are family-owned businesses. And I like the aspect of being able to just go to them, talk to them. They've both watched my business grow. They've been supportive of me. They make sure I can get access to good material that I need at like reasonable prices so that I can both make sure that I can stay in business and also like pass on that savings to customers as best that I can.
I love that you are so supportive of the roots of your family, but also to our communities as well. But with that, about another minute left with you here on the MegaCast. You're young. What advice would you give to other people who maybe are I don't want to say turning their backs, but I'm sure you had a path when you went into engineering at the University of Michigan, but then decided to change in your life. What advice would you give to other people?
I gave a speech to the graduating class of my high school in Jackson a few years ago, and I was nervous to be up in front of all these high school students. But I was like, I just kind of blacked out for a little while, but I was like rambling about figure out what you want to do, just try things. Like I was very much so pushed towards engineering because I was very good in mathematics. And, that was kind of impressed upon me in a way, and I don't fault anyone for that. But I think the most important thing to do is to try and figure out what you like and then reach out to people that do that and reach out to people that are older, that have experience. And then you could say, hey, can I shadow you? Can I work for you? How can I like engage with this thing that I think that I like and spend invest like a couple weeks, a week, 2 months of your life, which is going to set you up for the rest of your life. And if you don't like it, then you can try something else. But like reach out to people, because generally people that are older, people that are experienced, they want to share the information that they have, and they're like knowledgeable and they're caring, and like it's the best opportunity to try something without going full bore for like 4 years of college and beyond, and then being like, maybe I should make furniture with my life.
Quickly, we're running out of time. What's your website?
My website is huntandnoyer.com. That's HUNTANDNOYER. And my business name comes from the amalgamation of my parents' last names, which is Huntoon and Noyer. And Noyer is French, and it means of the walnut tree. So I thought that was pretty important to include in my business name to pay homage to both my parents.
Well, thank you so much for taking time to be with us. Great conversation, and we wish you the best of luck.